We're live, we're live, we're live. Yep, okay. Good. Let's get started. Get some different job. Gotta get an iPad done. This one's actually been languishing in the workshop for way too long because it kind of got flooded out of the queue because of all the jobs that came in with the floods. And I just kept putting it off. You know, it's one of those sort of things where it's a dangerous type of job where you just keep putting it off, and once you get beyond a certain threshold of putting it off for too long, it can become a perpetual put off, and things just go downhill. So pushing through to get this one done. Oh, Monsieur, do you want your channel trashed, buddy? You want me to trash your channel? Or do you want someone with who knows their business to trash their channel, trash your channel? Yeah, I saw the comments. Hey Miles, Kiwi Chess, Jimbo, Draco. Let's just wait for this to heat up. You know I can't trash channels. You know that's not my thing. I don't do that. It's not my style. I don't even know why the hell that was done, whatever it was. It was like, what the fuck? It's like, the start of the video was reasonable, and then it just turned into a great big slag fest, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but can't say I really approve of it. But then again, it's not my business, is it? Anyway, one thing I've noticed is that a lot of the comments are not being approved. I figure if you're going to do a video like that video, at least have the gumption to let the comments come through. Don't go sitting there and wiping out the comments that you don't like. Yeah, if you're going to pretend you've got a big kahunas, then, you know, let the comments go. Let them be. Yeah, Rossman would be a better one, yeah. Because I know there's at least 6 or 7 comments that I'm aware of which have not shown up. Even from people who should normally just go straight through, they haven't shown up. So, yeah, it's called controlling the message. It's a dictatorship type behavior. But again, it's your channel. You do what you like with it, and that's fine. But the cost, there's going to be a cost out of that. But the thing is, it may never be understood or experienced. Yeah. A lot of these places just carry on as they are, and never understand why that wasn't exactly the ideal move. I mean, I think there's pretty good examples around the world at the moment that you can be like that and you will get to the top of the food chain. In fact, it's actually more likely that you will get to the top of the food chain. So from that perspective, yeah, it's smart business. But if you ever get to the situation where you need a hand from somebody, then you might be in trouble. Hey Joey, has yours come through yet? I need to get some razor blades here. And I mean, the womb comment, I mean, it's like, what the hell? Some sort of random flippant comment, but it was like, really? Was that even needed? Hey, it's just, well, yeah, you might get distracted. Okay, let's see if we can get this open. Anyway, so this is just a normal iPad, nothing fancy. We're not going to pretend it's something fancy either. And I'm not going to sit here and try and entertain you all in a fancy way. You're just visiting my shop, and that's it. If you want something more, you're not going to get it here. A Clevo, a Teslas. I think the most annoying thing is the self-portrayal of being very smart and things like that, and then going for the very singular, narrow-minded correlation of YouTube subs or rate of gain of YouTube subs equates to success. And yeah, it's one measure of success, but it's not, the lack of it does not infer lack of success either. So it's a bit of a, what do they call it, false dichotomy. Anyway, it's one of the classic fallacies. That if A is not B, then it cannot be something else, or whatever. I don't know. I'm rambling. As you can see, it's kind of annoyed me a little bit. Normally this sort of stuff doesn't too much get to me, because I'm a software developer. I'm used to people constantly going off about something. But yeah, the way it was just like a little bit on the nose. But then I suppose you could say that, well, that was the smart part about it, is that, yeah, it was on the nose, and it's going to get a hell of a lot of attention now. Yeah, that's it, Miles. I just couldn't pronounce it. Electro Rep. Well, Jimbo, apparently 500,000 do. Plus a few more today. I was having a perfectly good Sunday, and then I'm still having a perfectly good Sunday with something interesting to talk about. While I try and pretend that I'm while I'm dealing with this iPad. You know I'm not a great fan of having to do iPads. I do them because it's business. Hey David. Divard, sorry. I do short circuit that name a little bit too often. I apologise for that. I've already done one iPad as well today, and it was truly, utterly messed up. Someone had sat on it or something like that, and it was all bent and shattered. It was so bad that I didn't actually even use the hot plate method to get the glass off. I just actually tore it off, except for obviously the bottom bit. You don't want to tear that bit off without getting that home button free. Okay. You dropped me an email. What was the email about, Clevo? Was it about the USB meter? Because I might have seen that one. I think you sent it twice, and I haven't responded to it, and I apologise for that. Hey, Drama Llama. If no one's a fan of doing iPads, I'm sure there's some intriguing people out there who do like them. Certainly not me. So this is a 9th gen. They're pretty good, really. So far as iPads go, they're perfectly reasonable to work on. It's more when you got this cracked glass business. The cracked glass is what makes iPads so annoying to work on. When you just simply, well, I shouldn't say simply, but when you're working on them and the glass is intact, and even better if they've been opened before, then it's not so bad. But if they're fresh, never been opened before, and the glass is smashed, then yeah, it's like, oops, I should not do it that way. The reason being, what I just did there was wrong. The reason is that drop of alcohol can come from the blade onto the display, and it will taint the display in a way that I cannot clean it properly. Mostly because that alcohol contains suspended adhesive in it, and so you're going to get this alcohol adhesive conglomeration And it's just going to stick to that LCD panel and say, I live here now, narc. As much as you may want to get rid of it, it will not budge. Almost as likely you can't. Oh, don't bring up those cases. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Yeah. Yeah, we've all heard my stories about how much I've bled out in those cases. Okay, we're just cutting our way through the adhesive using a touch of alcohol on the edge of this. Just going to be careful when you're around that home button area. You don't want to turn it from a valid touch ID to an invalid touch ID. Sometimes you can get away with it, the customer, if you apologise sufficiently profusely. But if that happens, it's like, oh great, time to give the customer a new iPad. Getting it digitized on without dust, yeah, well, we know it drives me crazy. Okay. Fractal Meshify C? Hey Adam, I don't know that case. I don't tend to follow the latest trends when it comes to PC building sort of thing. I'm very much a white box builder. It's like I'll just get myself a reasonable case, no bling, no RGB. In fact, if there's RGB in there, I will explicitly actually avoid it. I'm very standard when it comes to cooling as well. I'll take the standard cooler. I'll put a 120mm fan probably on top of the case to draw the air up and out. I don't go anything beyond that. Bog standard, bog boring, but it's dependable, cheap, works. Oh, I guess that's dependable. Yeah, I'm like that with my cars as well. I like things just to stay stock standard. Stock standard is nice because if something goes wrong and if you're not capable of repairing it yourself, you can just hand it off to someone else who can, and they're not going to have any surprises. Hey, phone repair. Machine is fully blinged out with RGBs. Oh no, I couldn't hack that. I mean, I get a few of them in here, and I mean, yeah, obviously some people love doing it, and that's great, just like some people love hotting up cars. There's no problem at all. I just, for some reason, I don't care for it myself. It's never been a thing for me. I've always been one to go for the understated approach. So if I ever was to get a hotted up car or anything like that, or motorbike, I'm the sort of guy that has a sleeper. I'll do my absolute utmost to ensure that you are not aware of the fact that I'm running a 9-second beast. I'm trying to be moderate there, you know. I could have lied and said 7-second beast or something, but that's a load of crap. You're not going to get that on the road too easily. But a 9-second one, you could probably get past regulations. I'm talking non-electric, of course. Obviously, with electric, you can get that, no problem. I'm talking about ICE. We do have a motorcyclist at the moment. He's got himself a Kawasaki. I think it's a 600 by the sound of it. And he lets it rip up the road. And I'm a little worried about him though, because this road we have very large, hefty types of kangaroos called wallaroos. And they're basically like Mike Tyson with hair. And they'll just appear out of nowhere. If he clips one of them, that's it. He's going to be mincemeat. And I'm going to furiously call 911 and then wonder why it doesn't connect. Probably the most bling I would ever put on my car is maybe some improved wheels, like, you know, some nice mags. But that said, Steelies are massively underappreciated in terms of, if you're going to get up to mischief, then having Steelies is actually a better idea. Because if you get up to mischief and you go running around with your alloys, those suckers are going to let you down as soon as you hit something wrong. You clip a curb or something like that, then that's it. Your alloys are gone. But if you've got your Steelies on, they'll take that dent and they'll just keep running. Isn't Wallaroo smaller? A Wallaroo is a pretty stocky beast. The male Wallaroos, and we get quite a few of them around here, they probably stand up to my height, and yeah, they're just, you know, bulked out. Like the proverbial shite brick house, as we say. Older bodies don't heal as fast as younger. Yeah, that's for sure. Hey, Joey. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if any comments make it to his front page, that guy's page, the video. Like I said, I think if you're going to post something like that, you know, at least let the comments fall as they may. I mean, I've deleted comments from my channel videos in the past, and that's usually because they were just, most of the time, they're either obscure profanity or, yeah, just people just really losing their head, or completely baseless stuff. That I've left quite a few comments on there that other people have said, yeah, you might want to delete that. I said, nah, let it stand. Let the community decide. There are times where you do have to go, you know what, the community can't decide on this. I'm taking it out. Trying to think what that noise was. Actually, I got to say about the BMW rims, my E36, I had a 320i. It did do pretty good with the standard rims. When I was driving around South Africa, clipped one of a really crappy pothole just outside of the, which dam was it? Hartbeespoort Dam. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That was a dodgy road outside of the Hartbeespoort Dam. And yeah, really mashed in two of my rims, just like put a real flat spot. Still made it home, back to Pretoria. And then I got them changed before the wheels, the tyres went dead flat. I was quite surprised. I really didn't want to get stranded out there. I mean, yeah, that's not the worst place to get stranded out there. It's pretty civil, but you still don't want to get stranded. I wonder if I could ever find the photos of that. I wonder if I've actually still got them. Nope. Can't find it. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. One day I will land on your doorstep and judge you on your YouTube comments. Interesting concept. Because it'd be nice if people just were nice, just for being nice, rather than under the threat of retaliatory action. In which case, you're not a nice person there. You're just a jerk with a, what do you call it? With a restraint. Yeah, I'm doing this for Miles right now. Miles, this goes out for you, buddy. I know you love this. I knew you'd appreciate it. Hey, Zoltan, Jim. It's just how the world is now. I think that the world has always been like that, but with the advent of the internet, and the way that things like YouTube and Facebook algorithms work, the intent is to bring people who have opposing views together for the very sake of ensuring there's going to be plenty of refreshes. Whereas in the past, you would find your natural sort of like circle of friends or circle of social, and you would predominantly stick to that. And it would be absent of the worst kind of conflict. I mean, okay, if you join a club, you're always going to find that the club is run by some kind of jerk that everybody hates but no one gets rid of, that sort of thing. But for the most part, you enjoy the club until the compulsory annual meeting occurs and all that crap. You got to sit there for 6 hours listening to revisions of the various bylaws. Yeah, fun stuff. And I want to move that slightly to the left, actually. Adam Hogan, this is the Anton ST862D. So it's a very generic hot air gun. I also have the Quick 861 DW, and that's also perfectly good. The nice thing about the Atom, I will say, is that I can stick the 1-inch elbow pipe on it, which allows me to do very nice connector removals. I call it the hot air bidet. So yeah, you can get HDMI ports off, USB-C ports off, all that sort of stuff really easy just by laying the hot air gun down on the side. It's handy for people like me who don't have the skill to do it by just holding it upright. I haven't X'd the front yet. Give me a moment. Gee. People are getting all anxious. And I'm not going to do the front anyway. I always do the back. Or the inside. Alright, so that's prepped. Now we've got to scrape stuff. Still haven't heard from the person who sent me this knife and blades. I need to be able to thank them for having sent them to me. I appreciate it. Yeah, Jim, that's pretty much it, isn't it? Like, you get the people who are at the club for what the club is for, like, say, in my case, an aquarium club or something. And then you get the people who sort of want to be there for that, but then find that they want to be something else. They want to control the club. It's their club. And inevitably the club splits. I think we've all been through that a few times in our lives. Hey, Jason Catalan. Someone needs to rewrite the firmware for your Hacko so it warms up the same day as I want to. That's more AI, don't you think? I want to rewrite the firmware for the hot air stations so that I can use rotary encoders. Actually, I don't even need to. I don't even need to change the firmware for it because the rotary encoders can directly replace those up-down tactile switches. I'd actually just need to 3D print a new face, but I would want the firmware to change so that I can use combo buttons to access more than 3 memories. I think the limitation of 3 presets is a little bit harsh. I think 5 presets would be much better, 6 preferable. And if you go rotary encoder, it's funny though, if you go rotary encoder, you kind of don't need the presets as much. But if you stick with the up-down buttons, you do need the presets. Hey, Mr. G. Anderson. Sounds, HOA. I think HOA is where the professional club destroyers go. That's kind of like they've gone from school level, they're heading into university, tertiary level, and they've become HOA agents. They're like, I rule this land. Do not dare say Arduino. Don't need Arduino for that. Hell, you barely even need you wouldn't even need a Mega. You could do it with a tiny 48, and even that would be an overkill. Hey Martin, welcome. Hey Felix. Yeah, a tiny 48 would be more than ample to cover the requirements of what we got here. Assuming we're just doing front panel stuff. But yeah, I don't know why they went with up-down buttons. I guess they're cheaper than rotary encoders. But if they went with rotary encoders, they could have saved themselves a bit of front panel space. And some people may say, well, the rotary encoders might fail. They're not really going to fail any more than up-down buttons. In fact, up-down buttons tend to fail more often. Because you can't control as well the force applied when you're pressing that button, whereas a rotary encoder, it's just very low axial torque. It's not going to do much damage. Usually what can happen with them though is they get gunk, depending on how they've done. If they're optical encoders, then as long as they're reasonably sealed, you should never have a problem with them. If they are contact encoders, then okay, yeah, your contacts may wear out. Okay. Fortunately, I didn't have to use one of these today. As in for this job. I already did one of them today. Almost put it back together, and I was like, I better check the home button clicks, and sure enough, it did not click. And that was because that dear little piece of black plastic that separates the dome from the button went missing. Missing middle. Hey, Pro Engineer. Yeah, I was thinking for the memories, Pro Engineer, but yeah, you're right. And that's what I was saying. I could pretty much directly just couple the up-down buttons now with the output of a rotary encoder. but I would like the extra memories. But then, maybe I can just sort of go, you know what, let's just stick with the 3 and I'll add the rotary encoders and see how I feel. Because a lot of the time, the 3 presets give me roughly where I want to go, but then you want to do a slight tune on that. And then you just got to 3D print a new face. Yeah, scream all you like. Tell me you're clean. Yeah, I think, and you could use the existing buttons that are on there. You got 3 buttons, so technically you could have up to say 7, 8 memories. But if we just stick with 5, whatever, I guess you may as well do all 8. Oh, you couldn't really do 8. 7. Yeah, 7 you could do. The reason being is that the 8th would actually be when they're all off, as in not pressed, and that doesn't count. Print me a new face. Well, you want a human face, though, don't you, Joey? Yeah. Right. Alright, here we go. The delicate process, the part where I should not be involving human beings on chat, because we all know what happens. I don't know why they do that. Why do they... It's just like, make them go the whole way. I guess maybe they do that so that then you can pull from this section and... Yeah, okay, right, fair enough. Fine. There was madness to the method. What the crazy stuff going on in my house? Seeing stuff fall down. Bugs. Goddamn. Plague of the black bugs tonight. It's probably the 4th night. Not in succession, but they seem to be having a bit of a repeating wave every week or so. Wow. Some days these just clip in naturally without me even trying. And other days I feel like I'm trying to put a square block through a round hole. Nope, you're not. No, you're lying. What? Take a break. Take a moment. Hey, Rilla. Hey, Oscar. Oh, jeez. Yeah, Pro Engineer, that is actually what I was conjuring when I was saying that. So I'm very glad to see that someone else has endured the horrors of the internet. I do believe that the person who did the video, as in the original shoving every shape into the wrong place, ended up doing another one where he did put them in the right place, just so that that girl that reacted to him could feel vindicated, I guess. Redeemed, whatever. Wow, this one's actually abnormally difficult. What's going on here? It's a fine line between too much pressure and having a disaster on your hands and not enough. It's weird though, it's kind of kicking in but not. There we go. Just need to be moved across ever so slightly. No, we don't put that one on yet. I did see someone made a comment and said, Paul's videos are too long. And I'm like, they're live streams. What do you want me to do? Alright. See, this is why having an audience is a bad thing. I nearly put that back together without actually putting the metal plate down, without putting the battery in. I was just testing for fit, okay? That's all I was doing. I wasn't really going to put it down. I was just testing it for fit. Make sure that everything had its place. But honest. Good thing I caught that. Because Miles was probably like, yeah. Don't remember to put those bits in. Yeah. Quick, take the tape off and seal it. Because he just wants to see the world burn. Streams are longer in Australia and they run backwards. What the? What? No, why are you powering up? Ah, damn, this is... Please stand by. Has I got a crushed button on this? That's going to suck. Really, yeah, it's not that I've abandoned it, it's just that it's not... I've changed the format. I've kind of worked out what it was that I was trying to do all those months ago. Personally, I'm blaming Joey for it. He misled me. So, yeah, Joey, 10 points from Joey because he didn't tell me what I was supposed to do. Yeah. Anyway, the trick was, or is, that you still run the streams on your normal channel, but you mark it in the scheduler that when the stream is finished, it becomes unlisted. And then what you do is you put that unlisted video into one of your playlists, like existing streams playlist. And then that way people can access it, but it's not being dished out by Facebook. That was the trick, not creating another flippin' channel. So, man, I got glass down here. Oops, no I don't. Okay, I think I can try to get this back overhead. Robert's stirring up the hornet's nest a little more. Hello, Robert. Okay, this has had damage here. There's blemishes and pit. It's not dust, they're pits. So, and yet strangely that makes very little sense to me. Because that felt like original adhesive. Maybe it wasn't. Sure felt like it. You might have to retract that statement though. I'll leave it up to you to live by it or not. I think if he was having a bad day, he's having a bad day. But he sure as hell didn't go about it a very good way. Like I said, it could have been an interesting video, relatively interesting. I mean, yeah, there was... What I do find interesting is that when people complain and say, oh, you know, can't repair Apple stuff anymore, or can't repair this, or can't repair that because it's got specialized chips and all that. There's plenty of repairs for those. You've seen that there's plenty of repairs for that because everything's using these MLCC caps, and there is no shortage of ancillary glue components involved in a machine. And sure, you're not going to be able to do the repairs on them if one of those specialized parts is taken out. But for everything else, 90% of the time, it's one of the other things. And so, yeah, it's repairable. Oh, whoops. Yeah, okay. Teresa is forsaken. Why have you forsaken me? Anyway, people know that tune. Because you wanted to. I already made you. What? What's going on here? Someone jumped off a beat. Too late, Teresa. You declined it, therefore it becomes it. Don't you know that's how it works with mod? If you ask for it, you don't get it. If you run from it, it chases you. This one isn't sitting quite so well, probably because it's got a bend in it. It's not as bad as the bend of the one I did today. The one I did today was truly impressive. Fortunately, the bend was that the outer edges were coming up, and you can usually bond those reasonably well. But where the problem is if it's bending that the central portion is coming up, so it sort of falls away, you can never get them to stick properly because always the edges come up. But if it's bending inwards, then usually just the containment pressure from the edge kind of like keeps it in until someone knocks it and then it pops out and that's it. Hey Marky from Adelaide. Whereabouts in Adelaide? Dealing with my hometown there. Miles, maybe I'm just lucky or something, but I predominantly get jobs that are caps or just things that can be replaced. At least for now. Certainly my queue is kept full enough of that. And I think if you keep flushing out the ones that you really can't do and you do it quick enough, then you're fine. But if you do keep ending up with things like T2 failures or the latest CD, whatever the hell their latest chip is, CD32, 3515s now or something, they're on the 3112s, 3114 boards. Right, I'm upsetting everybody's OCD here and I apologise for that. Yeah, fix it up now. Hey Ed Boss, Bel Air. Oh, okay, I don't know Bel Air other than the Prince, but that's not even the same thing. I was from Seacliff. Yeah. Yep, lived down that area by the jetty there. Is the jetty still there at Seacliff or don't know? We used to every month or so, if we're lucky, go out, catch the train out to the Marion shopping centre. That was quite an amazing thing. It was like, wow, we're going to the big shopping centre. Every now and then go down to the mall in the later years. walk around there. Adelaide was nice for the fact that the trains pretty much did take you everywhere you need to go. I wasn't there for long. Most of my experiences when we would go back there to visit the relatives, as opposed to me growing up there. You were there this afternoon, what, on the Seacliff jetty? We used to catch what is it, squid at least in the winter time. Alright, that's the iPad down. Thank goodness, now I can actually charge someone. Taught my son, if you get more than one use out of Harbour Freight, you're ahead of the game. It's not wrong. Not wrong at all. Okay, what are we looking at? Let's see, I've got a couple of Umfmacs. Who are you? Another Umfmac. I've still got a bunch in the other room that I haven't even unpacked, taken out of the boxes. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. There's this job that I really need to clear out, because they're going to be asking tomorrow morning. So what we're going to do is we're going to transfer this two 3217s from one board to the other. So I'm going to take from this one. The reason being is that I was holding off on this because I didn't know that I already had a working donut. Pardon me, a working iCloud lock board. So I don't need this one anymore to be a reference. I've got my reference elsewhere, so now I can take the parts off here. So what I'll do is I'll take these parts off first. I'm trying to think. Realistically, I should do one at a time. Very easy to get these mixed up by accident, and if you flip them around the wrong way, then it's the end of the game. So we'll go top first. Brighton, yes, that's another name that I know very well. And we'd spend quite a lot of time at Adelaide Hills. Yeah, so it's a bit of history for me, but I don't really consider myself a South Australian anymore. Haven't for a long time. But in saying that, I probably carry more traits of South Australians than I do Queenslander, that's for sure. Now I don't know if this is going to fix this board, but we're going to replace them anyway because we do know that the other pair work. So if it doesn't work after replacing them, either I've done a dodgy job or we've got another fault. Why are you doing that to me, camera? Okay. More flux, alsjeblieft. Dankie. So this is the one we're going to take. Kind of wondering whether I should take the Thunderbolt ROM as well. Probably wouldn't be a dumb idea. Then we know definitely got all three matching pair. All three matching pair, Paul? That makes no sense at all. A matching triple. Okay. All three matching pair. My God. Brain has failed. Hey Mr. TechFix, welcome along. What are you up to other than watching my stream? Come on, wake up. Oh, you know what helps waking up soldering irons? Turning them on. Yep. Looks like I failed IT 101. Trifecta, yep. Yeah, I don't think anyone calls... Does anyone call Twitter X? I don't. It's still Twitter. To me, X is the display system for a lot of Unix systems, although it's X11. Fundamentally, it's X. Did you see Phil's past video? Wait. What's this? Phil, he pulled out a knife. Oh, man. Oh, well. Was it successful, I guess? That's the question. Did it work in the end? And if so, then I guess that's a win. Though, yeah, I'm not sure. I guess you got to use what you got to use when you can if you got nothing else, but... Yeah. Oh, that's fine. That's just a bit of a... It looks a little grey, but it's actually okay. Hey, Air. Hey, Robin. Been a while since I've gone through Air. Used to do that on a regular basis. Coming from Townsville. Air, Home Hill. Did you guys get affected much by all the delightful water? We got cut off for a while, as you probably already saw anyway. Is it Hogenbosch or Hugenbosch? Just cleaning the stencil for this. Okay, so we're just going to rotate this around. We've got pin one up top. And if you are trying to work out which way your stencil needs to go on these, you've got 2 rows up top, 3 at the bottom. It kind of helps when you get to this and you go, okay, there's 2 bottom, 2 top, so we're backwards there. Let's see how we're looking now. That's better. First way you pin out, okay. It's a little hard to ask those kind of questions on videos and live streams. Like, it's not like you can verbally respond back and say it's pronounced this way, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Totally didn't hear it. By the way, yes, I'm very well aware there's sort of bumps and lumps in that. Get out of here. Okay, now this is the solder paste we used last week. And as you can see, it's still holding up. Yep. And we're just going to go 270 and 15 air. Now, we've actually been jealous of air for quite some time, because the fact that you guys actually have a really nice kind of main street set up, and you've got that very nice, tourist rest area as well. But Charters Towers is finally catching up. We've got our Gold Tower Central now, and we've got Harvey Norman and a few other things. So yeah, we're actually catching up finally, instead of this slowly decaying Main Street town. Of course, Main Street's still going to suffer here, but I don't think they had a lot of choice, because everybody wanted the preservation of the historical aspect, but businesses needed to expand, and new businesses need to come in, they need more room. So when you're dealing with this sort of situation where you've got two rather opposing requirements, then the solution is you create a new business park outside of town. But of course then people are squawking, we're going to lose our business, we're not going to thrive, we're going to die. And it's like, well, you can't have both things. Anyway, I think it's for the greater good. Kind of like when we've got roundabouts in this town, although so many people still don't know how to use them. I don't know how that happens, but they don't. You get these people sitting on the side off the main road, just waiting, when they're perfectly able to go through. It's the whole point of the roundabout. But nope, they sit there waiting. So, and of course that's how accidents then happen, because you're anticipating that by the rule book they've got a certain behaviour, but they don't. And so you finally you go, alright, fine, I'm going to go. And it's usually at that point that they go, alright, we're going to go. And then it goes bad. Martin, yes, this is the new flux. This is the Tim Herman flux. Now, being leaded balls, this should drop a bit quicker, certainly before the Nan decides to squawk. There we go, and that's in. Yes, 2179 Neo, correct. Just go through the middle. You only get to go through the middle at 3 o'clock in the morning at high speed. And you will be rated on how far you manage to fly before you drop. A lot of people didn't want the roundabouts in this town. I mean, I kind of understand. They're killing the historic value of the town. I mean, realistically, if you wanted to retain the historic value of this town, you'd take down the power poles, you'd rip up the tar road, you'd reinstate all the horse thingies for strapping your horse up onto the side. So it's a threshold thing. It's like, well, how much historical aspect do you want to keep? Yeah, fair point about the 4x4s. Same temperatures as you were actually. These are higher. This is back to 460 and 40% air. Where I was doing the reballing at 270 and 17% air. It is surprising how little heat you need for reballing. And that comes down to the fact that you're not trying to heat up the whole board, you're just you only just need to heat up the chip. Okay, it's one done. Here we go. This is the next one. Don't like the fact that it's got a little flux on there. Oh, plus you'll need about a dozen pubs, or at least, down the main street. I think we had quite a few more than a dozen. It was either pubs or hotels or... yeah, I don't think there was much else in this town. I mean, the town has a glorious history, and we do have a lot of the historical buildings. But, like I said, if you restrict new business too much, then you are going to become a ghost town. I've seen that magic roundabout, Ian, yes. Yeah, it's kind of like a 5 outer roundabouts, 1 inner roundabout, that sort of thing. Is that the one you're talking about? Oops. Okay, look good. No, this one's 3 on the top. I might just clean that up. The reason why I don't bother flattening the pads on the chip is because they've already been leaded up, so it's already got leaded solder in there, and the paste is leaded. So it's not going to pose a problem under most circumstances, with mismatch, or you're going to get one that's ends up much larger than the other. Yeah, you can get away with a few little dimples of solder still on the pads of the chip. Hey, Bridge. Oh, no, somebody's got that upside down. Wait, what? Yep, upside down. There we go. And in some ways, having the little dimples there can actually help. Okay, 3-week-old paste. I gotta admit, it is kind of getting a little bit too dry now. Again, 270, 15. Oh, let's lift it up perfectly fine. let everything re-centralize. Hey, phone repair. Dead cap on iPhone 11 causing no network. Oh, cool. So you got that fixed. How'd you find that? Was that like hot air, not hot air, infrared, or just found a crack or something like that? Is there a chance you might get too much paste on one of the balls? Not really. Not with this sort of scale. Like, there may be some variations, but yeah, there's a fair degree of bounciness or pancaking range. So it's pretty hard to get it too uneven. Yeah, I've adjusted these. These are actually uneasy ones, but I've ground them down a little bit just to give me a little bit more robustness. It's like they're the originals, and this is what mine are now. So you can see I've just been grinding them down, grinding them down, but they do give me a more robust hold. Oops. Every now and then, though, it does become a nuisance. But that's okay, because I've got other pairs that I can use. Not these ones. Hey, Dreams. Okay, the big problem we've got here is that there's actually a lot of flux on this. So I'm a little worried it's going to swim off to places it's not supposed to. Okay, fortunately it found its center quickly enough. That's good. Oh, seriously, Miles, you can't get them anymore. Okay, I've got about 4 or 5 sets left, because I usually, yeah, I've found that in the past where you find a set that you like, you go back to get more of them and they're all gone. So yeah, I now usually buy this sort of stuff in 4 or 5 at a time. And I guess you will too now. Or you probably did. You know the fault is on the 3V15 line, AMI EI present but no network. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't really do a lot of work with the iPhones anymore. Mostly because there's enough work with the MacBooks and also with my software. But, yeah, and I think, to do iPhones properly, if it's not going to be just a simple case of, oh look, there's a glowing cap on the board. If it's anything beyond that, I'm basically, needs to go to another place. Or if it's an iPhone XR, in which case it becomes excommunicated from here. XRs, oh my god, what a what a horrible board. I don't know if anyone else has experienced iPhone XRs, but you try to take the shields off that thing. Some of them, 1 or 2 are easy, but then you get to the other ones and it feels like it's easy, but you've already just destroyed the board. Horrible little boards. Deceptive little SOBs. Caught me out. Okay, let's look for balance. So we've got 5959, 78, 78, 78, 66. Okay, so that's nice and balanced, and we've got 20s all around other than that. Try the next port. 66, 60, 78, 20s all around. Okay, so the ports, at least from the outside perspective, are looking okay. Doesn't mean the rest of the board's okay, but at least from the perspective of, you know, the outside pins, it seems okay. So we can plug it in now, see if we get our 20 volts. We're probably not going to, but at least I know I've tried and I've used the donor. I really do hope we get 20 though. No, same crap as last time. Fuck. Oh, I didn't transfer the Thunderbolt chip. I'll try to transfer the Thunderbolt chip, but I'll probably just ruin my day. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait. Oh no, it's okay. Damn it. I thought, see, I've got this mark 2440, which is the job code, but this is the donor for 2440. But I thought for a moment then that it was the board that I need to fix, but it's not. Hey Dan, Console Hospital. So I'm guessing you fix consoles. I am taking these off in the wrong order at this point. I really should take it away from the original first. The reason being is that you could very easily misplace that part while you're removing it from here. Like, you know, maybe something knocks it, or, you know, gets caught into the extractor. I didn't bother redoing the solder. The board's already warm, the flux works with this solder, so it'll be good. What is problematic with this whole job is that it was working originally after they had done the repair, and it worked for a couple of moments until they put it back together, and then it died. So I'm still, if this doesn't work, then basically I'm erring on the fact that the CPU or T2 or something's dead and it's no longer. I've done what I can. There was an issue with the CD3217s, and there was an issue that we fixed up with corrosion up in this area. So we did all that, and we reballed some of the parts that they hadn't reballed properly. If it still doesn't come to life, then I've just got to wash my hands of the job. Fingers crossed that we just had a dud Thunderbolt ROM. It doesn't look like it went straight to 80. Unless it's stuck in... Could it be in DFU mode? Unlikely. Unlikely. Oh, you're on. Whoops. Come on, give me DFU or something, just to make it my life interesting. No. 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 Dead. Yeah, sadly, it's like we've replaced the 3217s, we've fixed up that. We're stuck at this weird, what was it, 90 milliamps, 5 volts. Let's see what the thermal camera says, but I'm going to guess the T2's warming up. And this is a case of there may well be a fixable. Yeah, it may be fixable, but it may not be worth me fixing it. And it's not trying to cop out or anything like that, but you've got to know your business limits. Are you going to spend 16 hours on something that you're going to make $300 on? No. You can spend 16 hours for $300, or you can spend 1 hour for $1,000. Now, of course, I keep saying that, and I keep failing that, but I also keep trying to stick with that. Like, I fail, I try again, I fail, I try again. Every now and then you still get suckered in to the rabbit hole, but you try to remind yourself, okay, we'll just try better next time, be better next time. Wife's cutting board, no, not anymore. I do like the bamboo boards though, because they do have pretty good thermal insulating properties. And they take the heat quite well if you are heating on top. Blinking, yep. I mean, every now and then you get suckered in simply because it does look like an interesting fault. Okay, schematics. Hey, Tony W, what's the success rate? 0. Oh wait, no, we did replace the iPad. Good old DSE. Totally did not enjoy working there. DSE was my big entry into realizing that things often are not what you expect or what you dream they're going to be. When I signed up to work at DSE, I thought I was going to be fixing electronics and all that other jazz. Turns out I was busy trying to sell stuff to people. Get that reflection out of there. Okay, yeah, T2's warmed up and something up the top there is warming up. It looks like predominantly T2. Getting open line on something that was going off to the Thunderbolt IC. That's quite possible. Northridge Starvis. Well, I mean, it's the truth of it. Yeah, in spite of the guy really not being in my good books right now at all, he doesn't own the reality of the fact that for you to do proper business, you need to know when to step away from a job. I mean, that's just a truism that you should know anyway. So he doesn't own that, that's for sure. Hey, Husanio? Husainu? The rent is high. I thought he owned the store. My first job while at school was at DSE. Yeah, Jim, yeah, that was mine too. I was very excited when I got the call. And they said, come on in, we'll... yeah, and then the excitement died off pretty damn quick after that, unfortunately. Yeah, it was a little sad. But, like I said, it was an important lesson in life. We should be back. I don't know why OBS seems to be doing this a bit lately. It'll just spontaneously lose track of the audio input. It still sees the device. It still says, yeah, I'm connected, I'm listening. You get nothing out of it. I'm not too worried. It doesn't happen too often. And the nice thing is that more than likely they'll have it fixed in the next release or two. So just be patient, wait for the release to come out, and I will probably never hear of it again. No pun intended. I was going to say, why am I... half my studio lights are off. Maybe it's telling me something, that I should shut up. We've got half an hour to go. We're not really doing an overly successful run tonight. So, Lutak, I did post a comment on the video that he made. Maybe he's jelly for not creating... I'll be very surprised, Lutak, if that comment stays there. We've got reports of a lot of comments just going missing. And apparently that's not uncommon. And there's pretty much nothing you can really do about it. Okay, I do have a screw missing here too. I do believe it was missing screws in the first place, but yeah, still, that's annoying. Be interesting to see if anyone else can see that comment, Lutak. Because I know even people like Joey Does Tech has made comments and they haven't shown up yet. So I don't know, maybe YouTube's just being quiet right now and not updating as quickly. Yeah. The end. Oh, yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, it pretty much ticks off a good number of the typical traits. And the thing is, yeah, people like that are actually very successful in business because of that. It's a bit of a superpower to have that. Because other people's sort of remarks and comments and things like that don't affect you. You just don't have usually you don't have the emotional response. And if it seems like you do, it's usually because it's manufactured empathy or manufactured response. You know, if they are aware of that's what needs to be reciprocated in order to be gainful for them, then yeah, they learn how to do that. So it is quite possible. I wouldn't be surprised one bit. Hey Dreams, what is it? I thought I was Ghost Band. Nah. Well, if you are, then I am too. And so is a lot of other people. Because I was looking at the comment counts. I think it was like 117 comments based on the views. And I thought, yeah, this is actually a lot less comments than what you should anticipate from that many views on such a controversial video, so to speak, or a video that's intentionally being made to stir up. But they control the narrative. That's the handy thing about having the channel for yourself. You get to have that power. You get to control that narrative. Right, where did I put the lid for this sucker? Man, we pulled a lot of parts out of that. Well, Lutak, apparently I'm not doing so great because he wasn't even born and I already had a big fat head start with my subs, because subs are the only measure of success. I know he'd debate otherwise. It should be pointed out that predominantly when it came to Rossmann, whenever Rossmann was promoting me, as it were, it wasn't my YouTube channel that he was promoting, it was my software. And most of the time he wasn't directly promoting it, he was yelling at me about it. But, like I said, it is exposure. It was a lot of exposure. And it sort of kept happening up to around about the 1 million sub mark. So for me to only have 40,000, yeah, I mean, you could sit back and go, oh, what the hell happened there? Why you only got 40,000? What, you're hopeless or something? It's like, no, it's just not my primary thing to be a YouTube channel. I'm not trying to be a entertainment channel. I'm here as a, hey everybody, I'm repairing stuff, have a look. Yeah, it's a bit of a difference. But where I'm really going to lose my head is where the hell is the bottom plate for this? Starship launch again on the 26th. Ooh, goody, that's only 3 days away. That's going to be great. Looking forward to that one. I'm actually impressed they got it out of... Yeah, I'm actually impressed they got it going again that quick after the whole situation, because I thought the FCC would just... The FCC? No, the FAA. I thought the FAA would be all over them like a bad ivy rash or something and stop them from doing anything at all. Personally, I think the biggest mistake was probably the FAA most likely requested that the internal abort explosion system be triggered when it did. I think they probably would have been better off letting it go downrange quite a bit more, because it wasn't going to go over anything. As far as I know, it was heading over into the ocean. But it's easy in hindsight to sort of go, they could have done this. Maybe they saw something developing that we didn't, and they felt like, if we don't trigger the abort system now, we may not actually be able to do so later. But I got to say, they did it was a pretty spectacular show. Elon runs the FAA. Yeah, that's going to be fun. I mean, this is always the problem, is that it's good to have the departments that oversee these things in a relatively independent manner. But then you get the people who get in there who go a little bit too power trippy, and they just start making things too difficult. It's the pendulum swing system, I suppose. So you want a bit of oversight. You want people to not just launch rockets over citizens and of other countries or your own country if you're in some parts of the world. But at the same time, it's rocketry. Stuff's going to blow up. And for the most part, I don't think the companies are just willy-nilly going along and go, well, that one blew up, we'll just throw another one up there and see what happens. Even if they're filthy rich, they're still going to want to make sure they fix those problems themselves. Okay, what am I looking at here? 3098, go to hell. 1502, I really need to get that one done. That's actually an important one for me. 2780, liquid damage, rice present. Oh, God help me. Rice present, that's going to be fun. Okay, we've got to get this one because it is an emergency job, or it's a high rank job. It was requested. The only reason why I hadn't done it earlier is because, well, it's a weekend. I can't ship anything out anyway. How many baggies do I have today? Yeah, I've collected a few, but I've got to order a few more thousand. I don't like... After I've ordered something and I've decided I like it, I like to order big, so I don't have to make that order again, because too many times, actually this is what moles, we were talking about that just earlier, too many times the product you want just vanishes off the face of the earth. FTS was auto-triggered. They didn't do anything, but the ship was too fast, too high. Okay. As I said, I didn't know. It seemed like they could have let it run for a bit longer. But they can also manually override that, can't they? But good to know that. So I don't really bother to go and watch those shows where they go into the finer details of, pardon me, what happened and all that. Mostly because it's like, I don't want to sit there for an hour, listen to it. I want the cliff notes, which seems like I can get the cliff notes easier if I sit here and talk about it, and someone will be kind enough to let me know. So that's really good. Thank you. Good to know. And I don't mean that in any condescending way at all, just in case it came across funny like that. The good old missile cover buttons. Goddamn hair. Where's hair? So much hair. Okay, let's scan this in. Beep. Okay. Liquid damage rust present. There's no point firing it up. The question is, what I need to know is, actually, was this a data recovery, or was this... There's obviously been liquid damage on these. Don't ever put them back out in service. I mean, if it works, great. But, okay, so it's top end damage. That there is probably the killer. That's a TPS 62180, which is a voltage regulator. That one there, actually no, that one there I think is for 5-volt USB. These NANDs are not populated. These ones are. This here is a bit of a problem. It depends on how much it's eaten through. So I guess we'll just get into it and see what we can do. But yeah, that's 5-volt USB, I'm 99% sure. What? Not a fan of this style of battery system. It looks like the trackpad itself didn't eat itself to death. That can often happen with these boards. What will happen is you've got 3 or 4 trunked together pins for your voltage going up to the trackpad, and they will just burn a hole through the board. Fortunately, it didn't seem to happen on this one. Small miracle. Okay, this is going to take us 10 minutes at least to get apart. Please stand by. At least with the newer models, they've stopped putting the stupid plastic covers over the screws. It might have been more to do with cost cutting than it was to do with trying not to be annoying. Might have been a case of the accounts department said, you know, we can save $3 million across the lifespan of this production if you take those stickers out. And the money would have won. Geez, people, staying up a bit late there, eh? I even got a board view for this. This is a 2890, I think. Start at 4:30. What was that, your start of the day? There's plenty of people that wake up at that time around here. Lots of miners. And so, they get up at 4:30, then they hit the road around about 5, get to work around about 6, depending on how far out of town they've got to go. Yay, JFix, I heard about that. Yep. Apparently that's the only measure of success. Wonder how many things he's invented. Wonder how many important tools he's created for the community. Not that it matters, it's not a big D waving contest or anything like that, but I tried to leave a comment there, basically like, what the hell, man? It's like, what was the point of that? But it seems like most of the comments have been nerfed. Probably he's using... I don't think he would be. I can't imagine... If I know anything about that kind of personality, they will sooner drag their crotch over broken glass in salt water than ever do that. Probably continue to use XZZ, ZXW, anything else. What else? Board viewer even. And they will find reasons not to use Flexboard View. Any sort of reason. Oh yeah, the default color themes are wrong. Don't like them. Doesn't use the proper macOS menu bar. How amateurish. Needs to get himself a professional programmer to do these things, show him how to do it properly before he puts software out again. Stuff like that. Hey Christian, oh, you arrived to a bloodbath. Now I think a lot of people are sort of just sitting back and going, what the hell? Yeah, because there's YouTubers out there that you go, it's not really my thing, you don't bother watching them, and you don't subscribe to them or anything like that. But every now and then one of them does something like this and you're like, what? So what in the hell brought that on? So it wasn't even necessary. Yeah, and some of the digs were like, why are you taking a stab at? What is this? A playground fight that you're trying to start? Go away. Let me get back to my work. Do your thing. Keep me out of your thing. You should measure your success by your own personal gauge, not by other people so much. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, long grain rice with the little, I'm not going to say it, but the end broken off it, which is meant to. Oh, Joho, yeah, I know all about professional programmers. It's kind of scary. A lot of the very expensive software in the world is probably written in Visual Basic using MS Access and done by an assistant manager who was bored and decided he could do better. 18 months left. Danke. What am I doing here? I don't even know what I'm chasing yet. I guess I'm just, at this point, looking for overall damage. The Rossmann LTT saga, that one's been brewing for a long time now. I wasn't too surprised. Okay. Speakers are definitely out of action, so that means PP bus is down, so all that needs to be just wiped out. You won't have speakers. And I won't put them back. And the worst thing is that's been chewing away for a while, which is why you got that sort of grey, fluffy build-up. Well, they're going to have their, let's see, this is their right-hand side. Right-hand side speakers are going to be fine. Yeah, that's some good chewing out there. Darkness, yeah, I know he's purged my comments. Pretty much everybody else's too. 300, so not short there. Not short there. So the caps have survived, but the chips will need to be taken off at the very least because they're going to have junk shorting out various pins underneath. Let's have a look over here. Let's see if our PP bus is hit. No, PP bus is actually okay. Alright, so what are we actually dealing with then? Someone's been... Oh, disgusting, gross. Okay, anyone recognize what this stuff is? I do. You know what that is? I hate that stuff. Oh, my comment's actually still there. Oh, this I gotta see. Which comment is it, Teresa? Which one? Because I put two up, and one as in an initial comment, as opposed to a reply. Because the replies seem to stay, but any initial comments seem to get nerfed. Yep, that's right. Fiberglass pens. Evil, evil fiberglass pens. And looks like looks like a robot's replied to mine. Interesting. Okay, that one got through. Good. Yeah, so this fiberglass pen is going to be a problem. And see how it's gotten into the connector there? For the trackpad, that's a bit of a nuisance. And it's everywhere. To be fair, this is a fairly fine pitch fiberglass pen, but it's still a pain. Okay, yeah, we're definitely going to have to fix this. I'm almost 99% sure that's 5-volt USB, and it has burned as well. We'll clean up that fiberglass because I don't want to be huffing that stuff. Right, I don't even know how I'm going to do this without risking things. Still in there, top comment. Okay. Yeah, I see that looks like a bot has replied. Something about top of the, what'd they say? Liberal sticks or something. Found the liberal bunch of sticks. What the flip does that even mean? You think that may be what killed your dad? Seriously, Martin? That's bad. Yeah, I'm basically putting it straight into the mouth of the filter. And looks like... No, they're basically stuck there, so I'm going to have to wet them down. Get some paper towel. Then brush them off with a toothbrush. And be gentle about it. Oh, his lungs are a mess. Okay, yeah. Seriously, Teresa, is that what it is? Wow. I didn't know. That is a typical sort of response, though, when you sort of like just call people out, like, yeah, why? Then they always come back with something like, oh, you're a snowflake or whatever. It's like, oh, no, it's just like, what's your problem? I mean, fiberglass pens are useful in the right place. It's more the residues that are left behind that really don't like, particularly in this sort of closed environment. Okay, so that's 80-20 I've been applying, the 20% water just to try and lift it up. Okay, so now we've got the 100% IPA. Or 99.8% or 99.98%. It's actually quite difficult to get 100% IPA. Because it loves water. I guess that's why that, yeah, you will occasionally see anhydrous, which means it has been properly taken to 100%. Of course, as soon as you open it up, it's no longer that. There's still some dregs there, but nah. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is take off those speaker chips. Where's the nans? Okay, no nans on this side, so I can go all out on this one because there's no nans there. See, I think the hard thing is, yeah, once this sort of thing starts, then everyone's like, your butt hurt, and the other one's like, no, your butt hurt, and they're like, no, you're the snowflake, no, you're the snowflake, and it just, yeah, becomes a glorious Palestine situation. 10 minutes. No, it's all good, Martin. No, it's all good. It's very unfortunate. But it does, you know, it brings up the fact that it's very important to be careful with the stuff that we're dealing with. Yeah, not as a kid, I wouldn't have an extractor with my soldering. I was like, yeah, it's all good. But sure as hell won't catch me doing that anymore. Yeah, that one's gone. It doesn't matter that I'm knocking some bits around. You can use blue tack. Oh yeah, that's a good idea actually, Joho. Good idea. I'll try and remember that for next time. Yeah, Sudi, I very much feel that. It's like, can we just get on with our lives and not have this sort of bullshit floating around? It's like, don't you have better things to do? to be fair, you got to admit though that this video is going to generate a lot of views and probably a lot of subscribers for him. So in the end, was he actually the smarter one? He's just being smart. From his perspective, the means justify the end. And I doubt he's going to see any negative impact. I mean, he will lose some social... he'll lose some social standing amongst people that don't really matter to him, so it's no loss. Yeah, Miles, it's just getting worse and worse. We had a government funded, well, public funded, so to speak, TV channel called the ABC, Australian Broadcasting Corporation. And for a long time, it was a slightly left-leaning, but it was educational and it was pretty good. But then there were major changes made with the government changing. And even though it was still labelled the same, you could tell by the way the titles of the news stories and everything like were changing that it was definitely not the same place. Everything just became clickbait and sensationalism, etc., etc. I very much prefer my news delivered in a very, white paper fashion. There's some channels I watch about the conflict in Europe, and I really do not like the constant use of adjectives describing everything. It's like, can you just speak plain? Just describe the situation. Don't give me your adjective on whether you think that was great or whether that was precision or anything. Just say it plain. Yeah, Jim, ABC just... like I said, it was slightly left-leaning. Everyone expected that, everyone understood that. But then now it basically just became... it feels like it became Murdoch Light. Murdoch Light, for those who can't handle the truth. Liz Hayes on channel. I don't actually watch the TV anymore. I'm just more going by the website. It is hard if someone is wrong on the... Oh yeah. Yeah, you want to get in there and you want to try and correct the wrongs that have been done, but it really is futile. You sort of need to resolve that situation by going about it differently. Yeah, they say the best revenge is leading a good life or something like that, to that effect. And I get it, but at the same time, it is also getting out of control of just what people are getting away with. What's this? Will flux when heated on board corrosion clear enough of the corrosion to get the device working again? Not always. It depends. It really depends on the damage done. Yeah, I didn't even check to see what this is. 2890 board, so I do need to verify that that is in fact the 5 volt section. Ruin is actually pretty good, yeah. I did buy the Gruen DVD set when it came out. I think it was the first 3 seasons or something. I haven't managed to catch up with it since then. We don't watch broadcast TV at all. We don't even have an antenna. I'm happier that way. Okay. No, what am I after? Was it 2098? 2098. No, this isn't the right board, is it? No, I've got the wrong board. 02890. Idiot. The numbers are the same, but the board is not. 02890. I don't have this board. I'm in trouble. Tane W, I don't think I did. Does your BK390 software work with other DMM serial interface? Not probably with the BK390. A lot of those handheld ones have rather specific protocols. God damn it. Sorry, I've just got to try and find... I'm pretty sure I've got 02890. Yeah, 2780 board. Oh no, someone posted only a month ago. Okay, let me check my other machine. Dun, dun, dun. Shite. I'm in trouble. Okay. I don't have 28... Achnia. Okay, we've got a 15-minute run. Right. Yeah, I'm in trouble now because I took that part off and I actually don't... I thought I had this board view. I do not. Which is really weird. I really did think I had it. But yeah, this is a 62180. So I could basically put another 62180 on here. My problem is going to be what was my orientation, because I'm an idiot and didn't mark. It's in repair lab? Oh. Ah, damn it. Well, if they've got it, then it should be on my XZZ archive. Let me just see if I can find it. Ah, no. No. No, dangerous room. Dangerous room. You got some bickies? Yeah. Well, buddy. I know, I've been working for too long, blah, blah, blah. Wait. There you go. Let me throw food at your emotional problems. Yeah. I found it. Be there soon. Oh, what is going on? Right. Alright, I found the boards. Oh, gross. Doesn't have an outline. I'll have to fix that up. Anyway, so this is what we're after. UG800. Oops, I better set up the schematic. Hey, zero effect. And let's see if I was right about being 5 volt USB. Yep, 5 volt regular. Yep, knew I'd dealt with that before. Right, so yeah, it's a TPS 62180. So that's good. And what are U caps? And the caps are 2.225s. That's all of them there. And more importantly, pin 1 is top right. Yep. Yeah, I haven't forgotten micro. I just sort of want to just knock this out and then I can go sort him out. Yeah, finish the job. Finish tonight up. And not have to come back in. Hey, Bodger. This pad may not be agreeable. No, I think we're good. Now these can be right little SOBs to get to stick back down. Yeah, I think I saw that line up. 18W. Is it a complicated process? Yes and no. I think the hardest bit is trying to find a good reference. If you can find a good reference, then yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, wrong soldering iron pull. I was hoping I could use the latent heat in the board, but it ran off. Usually what I do try to find is usually, what is it, iFix. They produce some very high quality overhead photos. and I've got permission from Kyle to use those. Okay, what are we on? 2.2 25s. And what size are you? 402s, aren't you? Yep, 402s. So what you do is you just do the typical sort of thing where you take a photo, you generate an outline from it. I use Inkscape to do that work. And then you convert the outline to, for me, I find it easiest to convert to HPGL. And then from HPGL, I can just import the numbers straight into a BVR file. And then once it's imported in as a BVR file, I can then move the outline around. Like I have a special mode in Flexboard View that allows me to, shrink and move and whatever the outlines of the board. Right, this is a very snotty board right now. Right, that was pretty awful placement, the flux, I will agree. Alright, who is the jock strap? Somebody made their life... Yep. Okay, dumb idea, I agree. Right. Oh shit. Oh, that's not a capacitor, that's a piece of junk. I thought that was a capacitor, no. Where'd that capacitor go? It flew off into... there it is. Yeah, I thought I could be fancy and get them all in one hit. Didn't happen. Sometimes you can, but I think what the problem I'm facing is that I'm trying to get used to a new flux, and it doesn't float the parts quite the same way as the Amtech does. And what I really need to do here though is actually get to my other tweezers. Those ones are a little bit short and stumpy. So I'm not actually... Okay, finally. Yeah, that was really silly of me. Tried to optimize, made it worse. And yeah, it's a bit of a mess. Okay, I just want to see if we're going to get 20 volts out of this. One amp at 5, that's not good. That's looking pretty freaking ugly. Nope, not there yet. Alright, that's it for tonight. We're already 1:15, so I've got to go do micros injection. Something else playing up here. Yeah, 1 amp at 5. That should show up on the infrared. I'm going to guess it might have been the TPS. I might have actually bumped it or something like that when I was doing the rescuing of the either that, or it could actually still be one of the, what do you call it, speaker chips. Why do you look burnt to me? Is it burnt or is it a diode? It's just a diode. Alright. Okay, that's it for me tonight. I'm sorry. Cords are in the way, I'm sorry. I'll see you all on the next one. Have a good weekend, what's left of it, and I'll see you on Monday with the start